What if the coldest place on Earth could burn your skin, and the hottest one could freeze your soul? Deep beneath layers of ice in Antarctica, there are lakes that haven't seen sunlight for millions of years, where strange, ancient microbes still thrive, untouched by time. In Chile's Atacama Desert, it hasn't rained in over 400 years, and yet, NASA studies it to prepare for life on Mars. At the bottom of the ocean, in total darkness, superheated vents gush out liquid hotter than molten lava, yet somehow, life is not only surviving, it's flourishing. These places shouldn't exist. They break the rules of life as we know it. And yet, they're real. Extreme heat, crushing pressure, absolute cold. Still, something, lives. How? Why? And what does it mean for the future of our own survival? Let's find out. We live on a planet of balance, or so we think. A delicate line between too hot and too cold, too dry and too wet. Most of us wake up in climate-controlled homes, surrounded by cities engineered for comfort. We build our lives around seasons, predict weather with satellites, and rely on science to keep nature in check. But step just slightly beyond the edges of that comfort zone, and Earth transforms into something alien. In the far south, the frozen heart of Antarctica reaches temperatures of -128 degrees Fahrenheit, cold enough to shatter steel. In the north, Siberian winds sweep across endless tundra, where breathing too deeply can freeze the moisture in your lungs. On the other side of the world, the Atacama Desert in South America is so dry, some riverbeds haven't seen water in centuries. And yet, life exists there. Microbes clinging to salt crystals. Algae surviving on morning fog. At the bottom of the ocean, where the pressure could crush a submarine like paper, heat erupts from hydrothermal vents, temperatures above 750 degrees Fahrenheit. Still, life. Strange. Resilient. Unexplained. These places are more than just geographic extremes, they're scientific riddles, windows into the most bizarre limits of biology, chemistry, and physics. And studying them doesn't just tell us where life can exist, it might reveal how it began, or how it could end. As climate change reshapes our world, understanding these extremes is no longer just curiosity, it's survival. Because the boundary between normal and impossible is thinner than we think. It began beneath more than 2 miles of ancient ice. For centuries, Antarctica was seen as lifeless, a frozen wasteland at the bottom of the world. But then, in the late 20th century, satellite imaging revealed something no one expected. Beneath the thick, unbroken ice sheet, there were lakes. Dozens of them. Liquid water, trapped in complete darkness, sealed off from the atmosphere for millions of years. One of the largest was named Lake Vostok, buried under 13,000 feet of ice. Scientists believed it had been isolated since before humans existed. A perfect time capsule. And so, they drilled. Carefully. Slowly. It took decades. And when the borehole finally reached the lake, what they found was terrifying. Microorganisms. Alive. Thriving. In pitch black, high pressure, zero sunlight, and sub-zero temperatures. These were not surface microbes that had fallen in, they were native to this place. Adapted to it. This discovery shattered everything we thought we knew about the conditions life needs to survive. But it also raised chilling questions. If life can evolve here, cut off from the world for millions of years, what else could be hiding in the dark? What ancient mutations? What forms of biology we've never seen before? And if this ancient ice is melting due to climate change, what exactly are we about to release into the oceans? Into our ecosystems? Into us? Some things, once uncovered, cannot be put back. Today, scientists have identified over 400 subglacial lakes beneath Antarctica. Some of them stretch for miles. They are not frozen. They are warm, kept liquid by the heat of the Earth's core and the crushing pressure of the ice above. In total darkness, they form an entire hidden ecosystem completely alien to us. When researchers drilled into Lake Whillans in 2013, they expected to find sterile water. Instead, they uncovered over 3,900 species of microbial life. Many had never been seen before. And they were not just surviving, they were active, feeding on iron and sulfur, reproducing, evolving. This isn't science fiction. This is real. The fear is not that these microbes are dangerous today, but that we don't know what they are capable of. Some scientists believe these subglacial ecosystems may have been isolated for over 15 million years. That's enough time for a completely separate branch of life to develop, life that has never had contact with humans, animals, or our immune systems. What happens if melting ice releases these organisms into the ocean? What if they carry ancient viruses, or worse, unknown ones? In 2016, a thawing reindeer carcass in Siberia released anthrax spores that had been frozen for over 75 years, infecting dozens, killing a child. That was just one animal. What if Antarctica holds something deeper, older, more unpredictable? As the planet warms and more of this ancient ice disappears, we're not just watching glaciers melt. We're unlocking doors that were never meant to open. Here's something most people don't realize. Antarctica's buried lakes might hold the answer to one of humanity's oldest questions. Are we alone in the universe? NASA and other space agencies are studying these extreme environments not just for Earth science, but to simulate alien worlds. Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, has a thick icy crust covering a liquid ocean. Scientists believe it may host life deep beneath its frozen surface, just like Lake Vostok. The conditions are eerily similar: no sunlight, intense pressure, sub-zero temperatures, chemical energy instead of photosynthesis. And yet, life is possible. What's even more shocking is that the genetic material recovered from Antarctic microbes shows signs of ancient divergence, evolutionary paths that split off long before modern species even appeared. It suggests that if life could take root in such isolation here, it could easily do the same elsewhere. But there's a darker implication. If Earth's deep, frozen biospheres are so unfamiliar, how well do we truly understand our own planet? Could there be viruses frozen in time, more ancient than humans, with no known cure? Some researchers warn that synthetic biology could accidentally unlock these ancient codes, trying to study or replicate them. Others worry that rapid melting might do it first, unleashing organisms not seen in millions of years. Not science fiction, not what if, just when. We always thought space held the greatest unknowns. But maybe Earth still hides its most dangerous secrets, beneath our feet, locked in ice, waiting. Today, exploring Antarctica's hidden lakes is one of the most challenging scientific missions on Earth. Traditional drilling methods risk contaminating these untouched ecosystems, so researchers have turned to cutting-edge, sterile hot water drilling systems, capable of melting through miles of ice without introducing foreign microbes. In 2013, the Wizard project successfully reached Lake Whillans using such a system, capturing samples that changed how we define life's boundaries. But that was just the beginning. Now, robotic submersibles, autonomous underwater drones, are being developed to dive into these subglacial worlds, equipped with high-resolution cameras, spectrometers, and onboard laboratories. They're designed to operate in pitch darkness, under immense pressure, without direct human control. In many ways, they're prototypes for future missions to Europa and Enceladus. What we're learning in Antarctica could become the blueprint for exploring alien oceans. But not all discoveries are hopeful. In 2020, scientists detected microbial methane rising from subglacial sediments, suggesting that massive stores of greenhouse gases are trapped beneath the ice. If the melting accelerates, we could see a dangerous release of carbon and methane into Earth's atmosphere, speeding up climate change in ways we're not prepared for. So science walks a fine line, trying to understand these hidden ecosystems while racing against a ticking clock. What we find could help us discover life on other planets, or unleash forces we can't control here on Earth. Either way, Antarctica is no longer just a frozen continent. It's a frontier, a warning, and possibly a mirror showing us just how little we know about the world beneath our feet. Science seeks answers, but sometimes the questions are far more dangerous. Some scientists believe that drilling into subglacial lakes is a ticking time bomb. While we search for life, we might be disturbing ecosystems that were never meant to be touched. Critics argue that even with sterile equipment, we can never guarantee zero contamination. One foreign microbe, one unexpected chemical imbalance, could collapse a fragile, ancient environment. Others warn that what we find down there could be more than just microbes. Some researchers quietly speculate. What if these isolated systems harbor forms of life that operate on unfamiliar principles, chemistries or behaviors we don't understand, or worse, can't control. Theories range from harmless extremophiles to dormant pathogens, sealed away for good reason. But there's a deeper tension. While public statements highlight scientific curiosity, there's a growing race between nations, between corporations, to be first, to claim discoveries, to patent biology. Antarctica is protected by international treaty, but pressure is building. Funding, politics, competition, it all drives the push to drill deeper, faster. And every step forward increases the risk. There are no second chances at this depth. If something goes wrong, if a chain reaction is triggered, we can't simply stop it. Some fear we're repeating an old pattern, opening Pandora's box, not out of malice, but out of hunger for knowledge. And as we stare into the abyss beneath the ice, we must ask, have we come to understand the unknown or to awaken it? Because once that ancient silence is broken, nothing will ever be the same. At first, the discoveries were hailed as miracles, new forms of life, new genetic pathways, potential cures for disease, and answers to how life could survive on other planets. Funding poured in. Laboratories around the world rushed to sequence the genomes of the Antarctic microbes to understand their secrets. But within months, strange anomalies began to surface. In controlled environments, certain samples behaved unpredictably. Rapid mutations, biochemical reactions no one could replicate. One strain, when exposed to oxygen, began altering the composition of the medium around it, producing unfamiliar proteins at alarming rates. Then came the first outbreak. A research facility in the southern hemisphere reported a contained biohazard incident. Official reports were vague, unknown microbial activity. But rumors spread fast. Quarantine, evacuation, silence. Around the world, scientists debated what to do. Some wanted all subglacial research halted immediately. Others insisted the work was too important to abandon. Governments argued. Treaties were challenged. And in the chaos, something shifted. The microbes were no longer just subjects of study. They became resources, weapons, intellectual property. The silence beneath the ice had been broken, and humanity, true to its nature, tried to claim it. But nature doesn't play by our rules. The Antarctic organisms, forged in total isolation, began to resist containment. Not aggressively, but with quiet, unstoppable adaptation. What we thought we understood evolved. And with each small failure to control them, one truth became clear. The greatest threat wasn't what we found beneath the ice. It was what we unleashed into a world that wasn't ready. In the end, it all comes down to a choice. Curiosity is the engine of human progress. It led us to the moon, to the stars, to the deepest parts of our oceans, and now to the frozen core of our own planet. But discovery without responsibility becomes a weapon. What we unearthed beneath Antarctica was not a monster, it was a mirror, a reflection of our desire to push further, faster, no matter the cost. And now we stand at a crossroads. Do we keep digging, keep unlocking secrets that nature kept hidden for millions of years? Or do we pause and ask why they were hidden in the first place? Some believe we're witnessing the dawn of a new biological age, an opportunity to rewrite the rules of life itself. Others fear we're unraveling systems too complex, too ancient to fully understand. Once we manipulate that code, once we bring ancient genomes into modern ecosystems, we can't go back. This is our dilemma: evolve or collapse, understand or contaminate. For every step forward in science, there's a shadow, a price, a decision. And while the microbes beneath the ice may not have voices, they have lessons about resilience, about isolation, about balance. What we choose to do next, how we use what we've discovered, will define not just the future of science, but of humanity itself. The ice has been broken. The silence is over. And now, it's our move. Remember how it all started? With a single question: what if the coldest place on Earth could burn your skin, and the hottest one could freeze your soul? Now you know, it's not a metaphor. It's a warning. Antarctica isn't just cold, it's alive. And what lives beneath that ice may be older, stronger, and more complex than anything we've ever known. We didn't expect to find thriving ecosystems in total darkness. We didn't expect ancient genes to rewrite what we thought we knew about life. And we definitely didn't expect to fear what we found. But here we are. And I have to ask you, if you were given the chance, would you look? Would you peer into that endless white silence, knowing that what stares back might change the world forever? Because this isn't just science fiction. This is happening now. Somewhere, right now, a glacier is cracking. A drill is turning. A microbe is waking up. And someone is watching it, wondering if they've gone too far. I don't have all the answers. None of us do. But I believe the Earth still holds secrets we're not ready for. Maybe we never will be. Still, the choice to look, to dig deeper, to discover, that's what makes us human. Just remember, some doors open both ways, and some silences were never meant to be broken. Tell me, what do you think we should do next? Would you keep digging? Or would you let the ice stay silent?